Hey, what's up, guys? David Glenn for davidglennrecording.com, themixacademy.com, and theproaudiofiles.com. Stoked to have you today. I've got a pretty controversial topic in front of us. We've got the stereo bus yet again. If you haven't seen my stereo bus masterclass, feel free to go check that video out first. But I would say the three most common questions that I get are, one, will you listen to my mix? Let me know where I'm at. 2, vocals, anything to do with vocals, and then 3, the stereo bus. And in no particular order, I love talking music. I love talking mixing. Stereo bus is a fun one. It's kind of a personality trait. You know, if you're familiar with the 2 bus and the stereo bus, it's what everything passes through before the final print. It could be hardware, it could be outboard gear, it could be plugins, or nothing. It's a total taste thing. If you like it, don't like it, by all means. I don't preach that this is what you should do. I just present a lot of the things that I do and say, hey, here are some options. Here's some things that work for me. If you like it, copy it, use it, tweak to taste. By all means, you can have a stereo bus and be cool. You can ignore and have nothing on your stereo bus and be cool. This is not anything that is a set rule. By all means, do what you want to do. But I did want to show a little example. It might not be the best comparison, but I have a friend over at themixacademy.com, and he's a member, and he sent me his mix for December. Not really a mix, but a version of his song, of his mix, where all he did for the mix was pull up a rough mix and apply Slate VMR's Revival. And he did that on every single track, and he sent that to me. And I was like, you know, that's a pretty interesting thing to do. I mean, it sounds pretty cool. Revival's a great plugin. It adds top, it adds bottom, has some character, some mid-range, some analog emulation stuff going on. The modeling is there. Fun, you know, we like to do shootouts. Well, I'm going to take his example and his test, and I'm going to throw it in. I've duplicated it. I've limited it on one track, done nothing but put Ozone and pulled the limiter down so that it was at the same RMS value or LUFS volume value as my as a duplicate. The duplicate I ran through my 2 bus, and then I'm going to show you if I bypass the plugins what it sounds like, when I put them in what it sounds like, and we're just going to give this this will be a little fun ABY test here, and see what we think. So moving ahead, I'm going to hit play. The first example up here, let me make that inactive. This first example is his mix with nothing on it. Let's bypass the limiter. Okay, now there's no compression, there's no EQ, there's nothing. This is simply limited. And like I said, he mixed it with Revival. Okay, so we're reducing the dynamic range a little bit. We're limiting it just to get it up to volume because I want to compare it and give a somewhat of a proper comparison to my version over here. Now, I didn't mix this. This isn't something that I did. I'm simply duplicating his Revival mix and running it through my 2 bus so we can hear the difference. A couple things to note before I hit play is I didn't mix through the 2 bus. He didn't mix through my 2 bus. There's decisions that you'll make when you mix through plugins or through outboard gear on your stereo bus. There are decisions that you would make differently against if you don't use it. So kind of, like I said, a failed test from the beginning, but it's still fun to see what it sounds like. So here we go. I'm going to hit play, and we're going to take an A-B on it. And then the original. Okay, so it sounds cool. There's a difference for sure. I like the openness of the original without the extra compression. But like I said, I probably wouldn't compress as much if I'm mixing through my 2 bus as if I'm not. So that's the first thing I noticed. I felt like there was compression going on, obviously. It was wider, Why? Well, I have a widening plugin on my 2-bus that pushes things out 5-10%, and then I've got Slate's virtual mix bus here. And the SSL it seems to push things out a little wider already. So there's some character coming in there. There's the S1 pushing it out about 10%, and then you've got harmonic character from the UAD emulations. No compression, no EQ happening. It's just modeling the character. And then moving away from that stuff, it goes into, it's kind of a quick overview of where I'm at now. The virtual bus compressors, I've got the FG Gray. No compression happening at all. It's just the character. Same down here. It's kissing the needle a little bit slower attack, faster release, just kind of hitting the needle barely. Take a listen if I bypass this one. I'll hit play and then bypass this plugin alone. Okay, so there's definitely a volume difference just from bypassing it. However, you'll hear the mid-range pops out more with this engaged. So I'm mixing through that, and I feel like I have to work less with my mid-range when I'm doing that. It's not a end-all, put a 2-bus and mix into that and you're going to be a professional mixer. That's not how it works, but hopefully you're smart enough to get that while watching this video. This isn't a solve all your problems type of situation. But then I've got the multi-band compressor, straight out of the Pensado ITL world of the Hip Hop Basic preset from Ozone 5. And I just kiss this a little bit to reduce some low end, the low mids. They just get hit a little bit to control those. But I'm, again, mixing through this from the beginning and tweaking it as I go. The Pro-L from FabFilter is just doing a little bit of reduction. Probably not even anything crazy. Yeah, it's hitting it just a little bit, give it a little lift, and then it's going into VMR is on my 2-bus now. VMR is pretty substantial. Let's take a listen to that before and after. Yeah, so that the shimmer knob gives it some serious life. It's obviously boosting the top end, so you got to be careful how much you boost. That's just where my default 2-bus is set to, so I'm mixing again through this plugin from the very beginning, and I'm having to boost less top end because of mixing through it. And then a little bit of thickness just because I like the color that it adds. It's all subtle, pretty subtle stuff. The shimmer is probably, that and VVC are the most dramatic differences. And then my maximizer that is sometimes even set a little bit lower. It just depends from the get-go. And then let's use this as an example of if I now hit play and I bypass each one of those plugins, listen to the cumulative effect that each of them are adding. Okay, so that's off completely, and now listen to the difference. If I put this back at 0, you'll hear these are the exact same track. Exact same duplicate, totally different vibes. I would be willing to say that the one going through the 2-bus is more full. It's got a little bit more of a cleared up mid-range. It's got some control with the compression. It does have less dynamic range. My end goal is usually around -7, -8, -9, depending upon the style of music and what I can convince the client of for LUFS to try to go more conservative. But things in the industry right now tend to be a little hotter. So it all depends. This is totally a taste thing, man. Have fun with it. That's, on my 2-bus, I'll also say that I've got multiple buses that I have where drums get parallel compression. A lot of times the music gets SSL compression, the top end, the bottom, all of those are split out on stereo buses. not stereo buses, but pre-stereo buses, stereo aux tracks on Pro Tools. And I'll treat them with a little bit of compression there before it hits a 2-bus. So this isn't even a proper comparison of what I would open up and do a rough mix. So tell you what, I'm going to pull open raw, dry tracks. I'm going to mix them through with nothing on them and do a rough mix, just balancing levels through my stereo auxes and then my stereo bus. And then we'll get a really great comparison of what it would sound like with and without starting your mix with a 2-bus similar to mine. So hope you guys dig that. A little bit of fun. Don't forget to check out davidglennrecording.com. There's a free course waiting for, actually 2 free courses and another one that will be added soon. davidglennrecording.com. You can download those when you become a subscriber. themixacademy.com for just $27 a month. Go check that out. You'll be blown away. I think you'll love it. And then the proaudiofiles.com for all of the incredible content that waits for you over there. If you dig this video, you think it would help somebody, it would open up their mind creatively to experimenting on the 2-bus, maybe some producers or engineer friends of yours, feel free to share it with them. We'll thank you for it, and it helps us to continue to bring you great content. So we'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks again.